Are we recording?
We're recording.
Are we here?
We are here, folks.
Is there water in the well? Is there
someone's poison in the water hole?
Snake in your boot?
That's right.
All right, we are back, non-live.
We are. I am alive.
No,
let him tell you anything.
No, you're watching this. We could be dead.
This is not an underworld dream.
You're not seeing this until later. We may not be here. But this is Chatter the Squirrels, episode 52.
52. That's a year.
We've been doing it a year. Facebook was kind enough to remind me, and we're going to try this as a watch party this week.
Yep.
So thanks for tuning in. It is our regular episode for the week.
Yep. We're regular time. We should have just finished up Thursday Night Magic not very long ago.
Should have, which is standard this week.
Yep.
One more week. Yeah, one more week before we do the Pioneer, because the third Thursday is next week.
Oh, yeah, that's a good week.
It's all messed up since the week started on like a Saturday
but
or whatever.
But it's a good week. We get to play Pioneer at Thursday Night Magic, and then we have Pioneer weekend.
Yeah, so we get Pioneer
twice.
We get Pioneer this Friday.
Right, this Friday.
No, yes. This Friday we get Pioneer, then we get Pioneer the following Thursday, and then we get Pioneer that Saturday. So 3 Pioneers in 8 days.
That's a lot of Pioneers.
That's a lot of Pioneers.
3 Pioneer, 8 days.
Circle the wagons.
3 Pioneer in 8 days. I feel like there was 3 Pioneer PTs in 8 days, roughly.
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Phoenix burnt to ashes.
That's right.
And then there was an underworld breach that flooded the place with the truth.
The truth has been inverted.
So if you missed it last weekend, we just gonna riff here?
We can just riff on this.
We're experimenting.
Coverage.
We're experimenting with changing format a little bit.
Right.
So if you haven't watched us before, watch us now. And
watch
you
us
can't
now.
Say that anymore.
We do a show every week. My name's Alan. This is Darren, my father.
Darren. Yeah, we've probably been going at this too long not to have introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
Game store in Mountain Grove, Missouri called Grove Gamers Guild. We do this mainly as a
local news program for our local gamers.
A labor of love for our local community.
That is a
that's what we're doing. And if you happen to be watching it in whatever little corner of the world you're in, we hope you enjoy it too.
We do.
We did watch some coverage. I've been sick the last week, and I watched a lot more of it than I normally would have.
Right.
Because I came home in the afternoon, and I just sat here and went, and just watched some coverage.
Well, I wasn't quite as busy this weekend, so I watched more coverage of Phoenix than I did of Brussels. I didn't really end up watching any Nagoya when Nagoya was going on. I caught part of Brussels.
I didn't see much Nagoya either.
I caught part of Brussels, but didn't really see any Nagoya. And then I tried to watch as much of Phoenix live. And then this morning I got up after you told me results of how the finals finished up, and I went back and I watched the quarterfinals, semifinals. I haven't got to watch the final match, which apparently I don't need to.
I wouldn't watch the finals.
Right.
You're going to be disappointed.
I'll just tell you.
Watch stuff up to the finals. Just don't watch the finals because it's a non-match of Magic. Which sometimes it's sad when a big event like that comes down to. And I'm just going to spoil it for you. Turn this off if you don't want it spoiled.
If you don't want the PT spoiled.
If you don't want it spoiled, it comes down to Huey Jensen gets 1 land in game 1. Doesn't see another one.
Yeah.
Mulls to 4 in game 2, and doesn't do anything relevant.
Yep.
And so
it's 2 non-games.
It was kind of 2 non-games. So Inverter ran roughshod over him, but he had a hell of a tournament all weekend.
He did.
And was much to favor.
I feel like he was on camera every match he played. I don't know if they just knew Huey was going to be on fire that weekend. But he certainly was, and I watched him play Inverter matchups, and I watched him do good against Inverter with that deck earlier in the weekend.
I seen him beat all kinds of decks.
Oh, yeah. Watching him play Control in the quarterfinals was just masterful.
His ability to sideboard is like next level.
Yeah.
Bringing in some of the stuff he did and just kind of knowing what he needed to do. And he drew well. Until the finals.
Right.
Until the finals.
And knowing when you're running that Fey of Wishes package, knowing how to sideboard actually gets more difficult because you have access to your sideboard during the game, but especially in Pioneer, there's the...
Not against Unmoored Ego, you don't.
Right. But you have the Unmoored Egos in the Slaughter games, and I heard some people talking about you always want to leave some copies of important cards in your sideboard in case you have to try to Fey of Wishes them out because they unmoored, they whatever, got rid of all your cards.
They don't always have it, but they always have it.
Right, So sideboarding gets way more difficult when you run that Fey of Wishes packages because you're like, well, I need 4 of those, but I don't want to bring in all 4 because I want to be able to go get one if they...
He brought Ugin in a lot. And that Miser's copy of Expansion Explosion did work.
Yeah.
It did work. That was in the main.
Did you catch that quarterfinals, though? That Thought Distortion? How he was playing that thing like crazy? 6 mana sorcery, how would that ever get competitive play? I remember that card was printed. It's like, I don't even remember all the words on that, but it's the biggest black get discard spell ever. I Thought Distortion, I
missed it, I guess, because I don't know what you're talking about.
It's from just a couple sets back, but it's like 3 black and 3 or 2 black and 4, and it's a big crazy spell, but against control, it's what he was beating control down with. Makes them discard their whole hand or all non-land cards out of their hand or something. It's it can't be countered.
Can't be countered. 2 black and 4. Target opponent reveals their hand, exiles all non-creature, non-land cards from the player's hand and graveyard. No, I didn't see it played even once in the matches I was watching.
Okay, yeah, and I think it was the quarterfinals. Maybe it was right before like round 15 or something.
I was at lunch and missed him in the quarterfinals.
Okay, he was playing Azorius Control, and this is what he was bringing in out of the sideboard. And I mean, it just shut down Azorius Control. It just all non-creature, all non-land. Well, I watched the Azorius Control player just have an island left in his hand.
We're probably gushing a little bit over this, but it's kind of the big news from the weekend.
It is.
I know that before I went to lunch, I looked to see where they were in the playoffs and everything.
Right.
In the quarterfinals or where they were. And if I was going to get to watch any. And they were talking about, Huey had told them beforehand that, his quarterfinal match could go really long playing against control.
Right.
Because there was a chance that it would just come down to him using Thespian Stage to copy the Castle Ardenvale and to make tokens.
Yep.
So it didn't come down to that apparently, but it could have. So anyway, if you're not knowing what we're doing, we're talking about Pioneer last weekend in Phoenix. The 2 main decks that got played were the same as a week ago with the Inverter, and that was a story. Okay, Inverter of Truth and Thassa's Oracle combo with Lab Jace or whatever.
Yeah.
But the big story was Lotus Breach. So playing Lotus Field and Underworld Breach, and then just drawing your deck out or decking your opponent.
There's several paths to victory with the deck.
Right. One of the ways, a lot of times the scoops I've seen is when they would go get oh my goodness, Tome. What's it called? Thing that mills 5. We're super
Tome Scour?
Tome Scour, is it? So anyway, they would go get
Tome Scour.
Yeah, Tome Scour.
Tome Scour.
Go get Tome Scour, and if they had showed that they could do it, they just scoop.
Yeah.
But I saw him. I think I saw Thassa's Oracle win. I saw Expansion Explosion win. I saw lots of things done. So the deck can win a lot of ways. But anyway, you're basically playing Lotus Field, making copies with Thespian Stage, using hidden strings to untap them and make obscene amounts of mana. Obscene amounts of mana.
Arboreal Grazers, because when you can turn 2 a Lotus Field, you feel really good in your game.
Right, so turn 1, you play the Arboreal Grazer, you put an extra land into play. Turn 2, you Lotus Field. Turn 3, you can copy it. So on turn 4,
you got 6
hidden strings, you got lots of mana.
Yeah.
You can pretty much do anything you want.
Anything you want.
Anything you want. So using Fey of Wishes, using the branded part of that, it gets cards out of the sideboard, and just rinse, repeat. Pour Over the Pages was very instrumental in that deck.
Yes.
That's so good. It's 5 mana, but it lets you look at 3 cards. You keep 2, or you keep 1, put 2 in the yard, and untap 2 lands.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out.
Go check it out.
We're not going to go over a card-by-card list.
No.
But it was a lot of fun over the weekend.
It was.
I think we ought to at least mention that the other big players, because there were 6 archetypes in the top 8. Band Spirits was in there, had a really good weekend. Coco just took that Azorius Spirits deck and just vamped it.
As Coco does with anything like that.
Sultai Delirium, I thought was the best deck to watch play. It just has so many lines. It's a great mid-range deck. It just does so much.
It is. It's got a very high degree of difficulty it takes the best players in the world to play it. It feels like Joel Larson is one of them when he won Brussels with it. It came out of nowhere. There was like 6 people in Brussels that played it, but they had like a 70-some% win percentage. And
just an excellent gameplay to watch play it. And then Mono Red Aggro, didn't it put it 1 in the top 8?
Yeah, Mono Red Aggro still running pretty strong. It gets underneath a lot of these decks.
I'm trying to think what the other one was that put 1 in the top 8. So there was 2 Lotus Breaches, 2 Inverter decks. There was Bant Spirits, Red Aggro,
Vampires.
Vampires?
I want to say there was a Mono Black Vampires possibly.
Might have been a Mono Black. I forget. But anyway, that's what happened last weekend. We for sure wanted to cover that. Pioneer's been going good at the store. We've got the Win-A-Box happening the first Saturday of each month there at the store. And those are going on for the next several months. I'm going to start trying to plan out maybe a few more months past May. But I definitely have them planned through May. So come out for those.
Go ahead. The players...
We'll say something. We got
the Players Tours. The Players Tours have been fantastic to watch the last couple weekends, though, to get high quality streaming of Paper Magic back.
I enjoy it. I enjoyed a bunch. I'm not an arena watcher, so I love to watch the live streams of real cardboard getting slung.
Right,
it's a good time for me.
There's still some things they could work on, like me and Dad were talking about the graphic overlay they were using, and some things that they were going to have to refine, but it was fantastic to watch. They had great coverage teams. Like you're talking about, Riley Knight was there. And
he's a hoot.
Yeah.
He's a hoot.
Marshall, like I said, I told him I could just listen to Marshall talk about anything.
Yep.
He's got that perfect announcer voice. So he could commentate a dog show, and I'd get interested. But
I'm going to pass on the dog show.
But it had a great team commentating. They did a great job with everything, and it was just good to see high-level Magic again. I think we got a month.
I even like that Wheel of Fun or whatever it was that Maria was spinning.
Yeah.
I even like that. That was a cute little segment, And then just the interviews with the World Championship competitors that are coming up this weekend. World Championship 27 is coming up. And they were doing, they got their own little spotlight segments and everything.
Yep.
And, I'm going to root America. I'm going to go USA, so probably going to go Seth Manfield. It's hard. There are some others that I could just as easily get behind. Sorry, I'm going to butcher his name, but is it Thoreau?
Thoreau. Yeah.
Anyway, I get behind Gabriel Nassif. Everybody's kind of on his side a little bit, There's just a lot of great players.
There's a lot of great players. I don't know if I'll catch much of it. Did our 2018 world champion, is he back?
He gets
an automatic invite when you win.
I think so. They didn't used to do that, which is weird, but
it seems like he should have it.
Yeah.
Because he may not be the American, but I would not be against rooting for our 2018 world champion, Javier Dominguez.
Yes. So anyway, that'll be coming up this next weekend.
Yes. In Honolulu, I believe.
In Honolulu, it is all arena. So check that out if you are so inclined.
Right. Well, it's mostly all arena. They're actually going to draft their cards in paper, but they're not going to play their draft decks in paper. Take that for what you will.
Apparently, arena can't handle drafting with 8 specific people.
At one point, they were just cutting draft. Period. People got upset. Were up in arms, so they decided to bring back draft for the World Championship, because remember they were going to cut it completely.
Yeah, I know.
Now I don't know. It's confusing, but yes, it's all going to be on arena. I'm sure there's going to be some good gameplay. Maybe I'll go back and watch the finals after it's all over or something. But
We'll see. We'll see. I'm old and I'd rather see cardboard getting fly.
Right. At this point, I'd rather be watching Pioneer. I'll just be honest. I'd like to watch as much Pioneer as I can right now. Standard's better after Theros, but I'll
probably watch a draft. Hopefully they're showing that and they got good camera work for it.
Yeah, I hope so.
I do like to watch a good draft with good drafters. So
yeah.
So that's what happened last weekend.
That's what happened last weekend. One thing to note, we're still talking about decks and Pioneer. Niv to Light is dead. 5-color Niv is essentially dead after the poor showings it had the previous weekend, other than Paulo Vitor Damaderosa, who came in second in Brussels, I believe, second or third in Brussels. He came in third because he's now, which I don't know if you had heard this, PVDDR has now finished in all 8 spots that you can finish in the top 8 of a PT. Possibly the first person to do that. He's now finished 1 through 8 because he finished third last weekend or something. Okay. He'd never finished third.
Good for him.
But
way to go.
He did fantastic with Niv Delight in Brussels, but nobody else can do anything with that deck. And we
were looking at the win percentages and whatnot, and Niv is not on there.
Niv is not. Yeah.
Azorius Control, Banned Spirits, Dimir, Inverter, Lotus Breach, Mono Black Aggro, Mono Black Vampires, Mono Red Aggro, Mono White Heliod, Sultai Delirium, and Sultai Inverter made up the bulk of them. Yeah. There's 43% other, but that's going to be a lot of stuff to break down. So
right. Yeah, it's a lot of 1 of 2 ofs, and
so anyway,
people trying to get spicy for the players tour.
I'm going to try to get us out of the weeds because I feel like we went long on this one.
That's all right.
And we're going to get back with it a little bit, get back to our normal show sort of for a little bit here. And then I'm sure that we'll get in the weeds again as we continue. But normally we talk a little bit about what we're doing at the Guild because it's mainly for the local community. So this is a little bit different. We're going to have a watch party for this Thursday. Right. We're shooting this on a Monday. Yes. Alan's going to put a little post-production work into it. And then we're going to fire it up for a watch party on Thursday and try to watch it with people. See if people like us doing it this way. We're just trying something new. Yep. And then we'll probably post this on Friday following to YouTube. Yep. So we're just going to try something different, see how it works. So when you do see this, we will have already completed Thursday Night Magic, which we already talked about. Right. So, and Friday Night Magic this week is, what did we already say?
It is Pioneer.
Pioneer. So we already told you that. And then, of course, we always do some Commander right after that. Yep. So come out for some Commander on Friday night. And then Saturday night this week is, what is that? Oh, because Friday is Valentine's Day.
Saturday.
Happy Valentine's Day for everybody. So on Saturday night, we're going to do a little Chaos Sealed 2-headed giant style. So
I wish I could make Saturday nights because this sounds crazy and fun.
We're going to give it a shot. So if you're not doing anything, if you went out with your honey on Friday night, then come out to the Guild on Saturday night and play some 2-headed giant Chaos Sealed. So kind of like the 2-headed giant we did for pre-release, if you came out for that, except I'm going to take a bunch of packs from a bunch of different sets, throw them together, and then randomly hand them out. Yep. You're going to build your decks together, and then you're going to play. And
sounds cool.
Hopefully have a great time. So that's what we're going to do on Saturday night, just something different. You don't have to bring your honey. You can bring your best bud or whatever. It's, but I am going to have some Valentine-themed accomplishments and goals for you. It's going to be for Valentine's Day, so there may be some things that have to do with heart or health or the 14th or that happen in doubles or twins or things of that nature. So just come out and watch and see. Might be some extra prizing you can get for that type of thing. So that's what's going on this week. Let's go ahead and give a short preview of the following week. Yeah. If you want. So again, on Wednesdays we have a coloring group comes out. Yep. On Thursdays we do Thursday Night Magic, and the following week
it'll be Pioneer next week.
Right. And then that Friday Night Magic will be a booster draft. And then that is Pioneer Weekend. We said it earlier, so that's why we're going to jump ahead and talk about it.
Which be 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Saturday events are at 6. Yep. So come out for Pioneer. It's a $10 entry. And what we did is we saved all the mythics from last season.
From the Eldraine season.
I got 27 of them. And
all the mythics out of our Universal promo pack.
The Universal promo packs, which we're going to open some at the end of the episode like we always do, that we give out next week in prizes. Yep. So
we saved back mythics through the Eldraine season for this Pioneer Weekend.
Yeah, so you can find a list on the Facebook page under the event Pioneer Weekend. I know that it has a total of 4 nickel boluses, 3 Chandras. There's 2
Embercleaves. Is there 2 Embercleaves?
I think there's 2 Embercleaves.
Yeah.
There's also 2 Brazen Borrowers. Anyway, there's a lot of really good stuff in there.
Yeah.
So come out and play that. I'm going to give 5 of those at random out as door prizes through the evening. And then at the end, we're not going to do a cut to top 8, but by Swiss standings at the end of however many Swiss rounds we need for the number of players. First place is going to get to pick 6. 6 of those mythics. Second place gets 4. Third and fourth get 3 apiece. Fifth and sixth get 2 apiece. And seventh and eighth get the last 2. Okay? That's how we're divvying them out. There's 27 of them. So that'll be going Pioneer Weekend. And then I'm going to jump ahead just one more time. Unsanctioned comes out at the end of the month. The spoilers are out there on the World Wide Web. Go look at them. If you haven't seen them, go look them up. I don't know yet what my allocations are. I checked with my distributor today because I saw on some of the groups I was a member of where people were getting their allocations. I didn't get mine.
Right.
So I don't know if I'm getting all that I ordered it. I don't know if I'm going to have plenty to sell or not. But I've heard where some people are getting allocated.
Well, let's hope for the best.
So other than the event I had originally posted, which I deleted today, tomorrow I will be creating a new event. Wednesday at the latest, I'll have it posted.
Right.
But
for that, numbers come in.
So I will have those for sale. But instead of using those for an event, I'm going to bust out a box of Unstable. And we're going to do an Unstable draft on Saturday night. So, Saturday night, February 29th, Leap Day.
I don't know if I can get 2 Saturday nights in a row.
Leap your way down to the guild. I believe it's going to be a $25 draft.
Yeah, that's fair.
$25 for Unstable draft. And that's what we're going to do. That's going to be the event that celebrates Unsanctioned coming out.
We're going to do
that. And depending on turnout, I'll determine pricing based on participation. So
I just want to let everybody know, if you guys didn't get a chance to draft Unstable a couple of years ago when it came out, this is some of the funnest drafting you're going to have.
Super fun. Augment is really cool.
Augment's
this is the best unset that they've ever done.
It's the best unset ever made.
Finally, I think Mayro is dialed in now to make the unsets just spectacular.
Right.
I think we'll get another one in the next 2 to 3 years.
And about a 5-year gap between them, I think.
I think we'll get another one in the next couple of years. And very exciting. I did save some back. I had people trying to buy my last case off of me.
I tried to buy a box because that's what it lands.
I've been saving them back, and I believe I'm going to bust out one of those boxes, and we're going to draft it. Maybe more than one box so I get enough people participating. But $25 a head to come out and draft Unstable Saturday, February 29th. I'll make an event for it tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest. And you're hearing that first here.
Yeah.
But you're not going to see it till Thursday, so it'll probably be posted. Okay?
I'm hearing that first here. Now,
yeah, I didn't even tell him. I surprised him.
I don't know if I can get 2 Saturday nights because I'm getting Saturday night off for the Pioneer Weekend. Now I want a second one in a row because I want to draft Unstable again. Because I'll never forget, I drafted Unstable once and played every card I drafted because of contraptions. I drafted enough contraptions. I didn't end up playing like a 45-card deck and then like a full contraption deck or something. It was fun.
Lots of things you can do. Lots and lots of things. So anyway, we hope you guys are liking this broadcast. Let us know. Give us some comments. Like I said, we're going to be trying to do a watch party, so we're going to try to talk to people if they're watching.
We should be in the comments with you guys.
When we're broadcasting this, if you see it on YouTube afterwards.
We'll do a watch party.
Like it, share it, thumbs up it, make a comment. Tell us what we can do to improve it. We would like to create content. What kind of content you guys looking for?
Right.
You want a news program? You want What are you looking for?
Right. We like bringing some Magic news to you. I've been really excited about Pioneer lately, so we've been talking a little bit more Pioneer. And then also, I mean, Commander content. We're not opposed to Commander content either. We play a lot of Commander at our LGS, the Air Grove Gamers Guild, and we both believe that we have the correct philosophy regarding Commander. So,
Well, you can believe what you want, but I know that I'm doing it right.
See. And they're inspired.
There's a difference. Trust me.
I don't think I'm doing it wrong, so
Yeah, you're young. You'll learn stuff eventually. So there's that.
You haven't ever flipped a table on me in one of my decks, so I think I'm not doing too much wrong.
Yeah, you're learning. You're learning. Anyway, there's a little segment I like to do every week called Reblogatog.
Yep.
And Mark Rosewater does a thing called Blogatog on Tumblr, and I read that pretty faithfully. And through the week, I save back comments that I think are worth going over.
Yeah.
And maybe you think they are, maybe you don't. But we're going to hit the highlights of some of those. And since we did a show last Thursday and then we're pre-recording this a little early, I don't have as much as I might normally. So we may be padding that up a little bit. But,
I can do that if you need that.
So one of the things they've talked about a little bit in the last few days is he did a Commander drive to work, which I'm not a listener of that.
Right.
But I guess I ought to be, but I'm like behind 700 now, so it's really rough.
Well, I went back. When I started listening, I just kind of went back and I started to I looked for title names that seemed like they'd be the greatest hits, or something. And
So anyway, apparently he talked a little bit about Commander damage and how if he was in charge, which Wizards isn't in charge of, the RC, the Rules Committee, it's an independent committee not run by Wizards of the Coast, is in charge of it. If he was in charge, he would look at removing Commander damage or changing Commander damage in some way. And someone asked him about that, And they got to talking about cognitive load.
Right.
And so that's one of the things I've seen him reference before is cognitive load. So how much information you have to process when you're playing a game of Magic.
Right. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot. There's all the rules, which are deep, and that's why we love Magic.
Right.
And there's the stuff that's in play, the stuff not in play, thinking what your opponent might have.
Right.
Just a lot of things to track, a lot of balls in the air, a lot of hats to wear, whatever. And so they're talking about cognitive load. And so he's comparing it anyway to commander damage, because in a multiplayer format, you've got commander damage from multiple players. So that's a higher cognitive load because you got to track commander damage from 3 other players, for instance, as opposed to, say, poison counters. You only have to keep track of one number of those.
Right.
And so there's some discussion about that, about how one helps aggro, one hurts aggro, or whatever.
Right.
So,
well, I'm going to jump on something real quick to say first. I respect Mark Rosewater, love a lot of the stuff he says, but I am very thankful that him and Wizards of the Coast are not in charge of Commander. As much as I like Mark Rosewater, I'm really thankful he isn't in charge of it because he's kind of self-admittedly not a huge fan of multiplayer games where politics become involved, where just the social not the multiplayer aspects of Commander, he doesn't seem to be such a fan of, and I'm glad that he's not in charge of that. I think Commander damage, it can be confusing, but a lot of times it doesn't come up very often, and I believe it's an ultimate check to the format that is necessary in the background.
I agree. I mean, it basically nullifies infinite life games.
Right. There's plenty of ways.
It nullifies it.
There's plenty of ways to make infinite mana in Commander, especially. Someone decides to gain 1,000,000 life, I still only got to do 21 commander damage.
Still, it's a great equalizer.
It really is. And there's been people talk about trying to simplify it. I heard the Command Zone talk about this at one point. Try to get rid of the multiple commander damages and make it one total all commander damage, and maybe make the number 30 or something. But one of the big complaints is for the decks that do actually care about commander damage, like a Voltron deck, that hurts them because they're probably the only person swinging with a commander to do commander damage.
Sure. And
now they have to do more if that's how the rule gets changed.
That makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. So, anyway, there was some discussion on that about cognitive load, and then again on commander, and again kind of working towards that cognitive load thing, is some more discussion about hybrid mana.
Right.
And Mark Rosewater, and I get this. Hybrid mana works differently in Commander than it works anywhere else in Magic.
Yes.
Okay? Hybrid mana means either or. But in Commander, because of color identity, it means one or the other.
Right.
And so I get it. It's a higher cognitive load to have to remember, in Commander, I can't play this blue-white hybrid in my mono-blue deck because it has white mana symbols in it.
Right.
I can't do that.
I agree, but
I get that it's a higher cognitive load.
Okay.
I still think that it's a simple way to build decks to just know you can't put a blue mana symbol in a mono white deck.
Right.
And so again, I'm a little scared that this is one that's going to fall.
It is.
I'm a little scared.
Nero's pushed this real hard because hybrid mana is one of his signature things that he's very proud of creating. And he doesn't like that Commander doesn't use it the way he wanted it used. I can hear it in his voice when he talks about it. And
we've talked about it before. Sheldon Menery, Godfather of Commander.
Right.
Go look it up.
Yeah.
We're not doing a history lesson tonight. Well, we are, but not on that.
Not on that.
We'll get to the history of Magic in just a little bit. But he had a short contract with Wizards late last year into early this year. I don't remember
3 months.
I don't remember when it started or ended, but it was for a few months. And I believe that we'll see something over the next 12 to 24 months where we figure out what the solution was.
Yeah.
Whether we stick to our guns or they made a modification. I believe we'll find out by the time Draft Commander comes out this fall.
I would say you're right.
I think we'll know by then.
I wish I had kept a copy of what when Sheldon wrote his article about working for Wizards and all his little Q&A about being in the office. You remember how he said something about if you want to talk about hybrid mana, you've got to put money in the jar?
Yeah, he had it wasn't a spare jar, it was a hybrid jar. So
right.
If you want to talk to me about hybrid, you got to put money in the jar. So we enjoyed that because people wanted to talk to him
about hybrid. And I know Sheldon was...
On a personal note, and I don't remember if I specifically talked to him about this thing, I saw Sheldon at Gen Con last August,
right.
Spoke to him at length. I caught him in downtime between games. I didn't play a game with him, but I caught him with some spare time, and I feel much better after speaking with him one-on-one about the future of our format because he really wants to find a way to marry all the groups together.
He does.
I sort of am on the side of let's split CEDH off and let them do their thing. He wants to find a way to keep it all together. Blessing for that. I don't know if he can, but he is at heart. He knows the format is different and he wants to keep it different. All of the people that are working so hard to make Commander the same as every other format, he's on our side.
Right.
So if you want to keep Commander unique in the way that it is, then Sheldon is working for us to keep it unique. We may lose the hybrid fight, but he's working to keep it unique because he knows there's no other format doing what Commander's doing.
Right.
Trying to do what Commander's doing. So I felt so much better after talking to him for about 20 or 30 minutes that it was one of the highlights of my Gen Con, believe it or not.
I subscribe to his podcast and he hasn't done a new episode in months and months, but he's
too busy working for Wizards.
He doesn't do episodes very often. It doesn't seem like he has a set schedule when he releases one, just whenever Sheldon decides to. I think it's called Elder Dragon Statesman.
Okay.
So he drops knowledge when he decides to.
So since I mentioned Commander Legends, which is the
draftable Commander
Commander,
come out in quarter 4.
There was a question about how late in the process Wizards could change things. And this gets asked from time to time.
Yeah.
And I know it's somewhere around 6 to 9 months out where sets get locked in and they can't do anything about it.
Right.
And he mentions that Commander Legends is locked. It's going to be the way that it is. There's nothing they can do about it. It's locked. So whatever we're getting in fourth quarter, it's already there.
Right.
It's locked in. It's at the printers. I don't know that it's printed, but it's they've done all the coding type, whatever. It's locked in.
It's locked in. The artwork's locked in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all there. So it's coming. And then another little thing that I thought was interesting is that someone asked him about last year how he was excited about War of the Spark, Modern Horizons, and Throne of Eldraine, and asking what he's most excited for this year.
Right.
And he said the three things that he's personally most excited for in 2020 are Unsanctioned. Obviously, the Unsets are his baby.
Right.
Ikoria.
He said he's been working on this.
It's a crazy mechanic, whatever we're doing. Mutate.
Yeah.
Mutate.
He's been talking. I mean, he said things like he's been working on this for 10 years, the build your own monster kind of thing or something. Yeah. So.
And then a product that he doesn't think is made public yet. And they told us about a lot of products coming out this year. So there's at least one product we don't know about yet.
I don't know what it could be.
I don't know, but he said he had to name something fourth, it'd be Zendikar Rising.
Right.
You know.
Commander Legends is obviously the draft innovation set, right? Because it's, you know, so it's not going to be like a Battle Bond 2 or anything like that yet.
Right.
So I don't know what it could be.
I have no idea, but when I read that, it's like, ooh, I want to share that with everybody. There's an unannounced product that Mayro's super excited for. What can that be?
And we know more products for this year than we've maybe ever known this far ahead of time. They gave us all 4 of the upcoming sets.
We retailers like that. We like knowing stuff that's coming.
Right.
A little something, you know.
But right after Eldraine, they give us the next 4 standard sets after that. Then they talk about all the Commander products coming out.
Yeah, I thought it was everything for 2020, but apparently they got other than the secret drops, you know.
Yeah.
The secret lair drops, which we're going to have who knows how many of those.
Right.
I wasn't going to say it, but we heard there's 5 more coming next weekend at the championships.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want me to throw speculation out, because once in a while I nail something.
Yeah.
So you thought it might be gods. I'm thinking it might be like sets of foil lands. So I don't know. We shall see, right?
They'll sell too.
Oh, they'll sell. I don't know. And it might have something to do with the gods. I don't know.
If there's 5 of them, it looks like a Nyx in the background. Maybe we get
the new stars. It sounds to me like it's lands.
Yeah,
but it could be the gods.
We get old Purphoros, new Purphoros, you know.
Oh, possibly.
You know, each of the 5
and 5 lands, you know, or something.
Yeah.
For $49.95 or something.
Something like that.
Something crazy. So anyway, watch for that. See how close we got on that little prediction, you know.
But I do believe it will be Theros related somehow. So.
Yeah, they sort of hinted towards that. So.
Either that or after everything we've seen recently, we just see stars and see Theros. Maybe it's nothing at all Theros, and it's good misdirection.
It's possible. So anyway, that's Reblog-a-Tog. Do that every week.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing I've been trying to hit on every week or most weeks is something I started calling History of Magic.
Yes.
And I've been trying to get stuff caught up to where I could do like 25 years ago Magic stuff. So I've been trying to find stuff. You may see a little bit of Magic stuff behind us. We're kind of clogging it up a little bit. There's a bunch of Duelists back in here.
The old Duelists.
All kinds of old box sets and encyclopedias and stuff back there.
Yep.
But anyway, a lot of things like that. And one of the things I found this week that I don't have a bunch of, but they're called Ditzler stickers.
Yes.
So go Google those up. Go look on MTG Librarities. Get the rundown. I'll probably read a little bit off that side.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff from back in the once upon a days.
We should be, we're going to try putting in some slides here post-production. So
These will be up on your screen.
But anyway, the first one we're going to talk about, so what these were, let's talk about them just briefly here.
Right.
In 1994.
Right after the game shot off like a bullet.
In 93. So there was a set of 75 stickers made by a man named Fred Ditzler.
Mm-hmm.
They were called Middle Ages. Marauder Graphics, and I don't know, he printed like 1,000 sheets of these things, sold 100 boxes, and packs of 8 cards.
30 packs per box?
Yeah, something like that. And it was only on the East Coast, like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, and Delaware.
Michigan's actually the weird one, because it's kind of...
And some of these things, he pulled out a couple of them and made them ungodly rares, because you had to take packages and send in and redeem them. to get them sent to you.
Right.
And so, again, I took some pictures of some of the ones that I have. You can look at pictures, I think, of all of them if you go to Magic Librarities.
Yes.
But here's a picture of a few that I've collected over the years. And again, I don't have them all, you know.
All right.
But let's see, where are we at?
Oh, you get a dozen, 20 of them, something like that, somewhere in that area?
Something like that. Where are we at? All right,
that's almost half the set.
So, first one we're going to talk about is the Legendary Land. And again, these are stickers a little bit bigger than a Magic card. They're square-cornered. And you peel them off, stick them to a card.
Yep. This one is the worst one I saw.
And if you'll look, well, it's cute, though.
It is cute.
If you look, it's got the type line is at the top.
Right.
On all of them. And down where the type line should be is actually the name. And then they use different symbols, you'll see, and different words so that they didn't copyright infringe. Now, spoiler alert, there was a cease and desist filed, and they had to pull them, and yes, they got in trouble, and I don't know if the guy ended up losing money, what happened.
They tried, but that didn't work. You know.
So anyway, there's a legendary land called Magic Shop, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but it is a stinker of a card. Turn to provide one generic command.
Right.
That's not a very good card.
It's a legendary waste.
not a very good card.
Not a very good card, no.
So, you know, there's a artifact creature, costs 6 mana, it's a 2/3. That's horrible already, right?
Ballista.
It's a ballista.
Also, the power toughness are up in the top right-hand corner.
Like a casting cost.
Next to the casting cost.
Well, you'll see them.
Yeah, it took me a minute when I was looking at them to be like, how big are these? Oh, that's where it is.
You do have to remember, though, for those of you who weren't around, creatures sucked back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, they did. But this is an artifact creature ballista. First strike, turn, which is tap.
Yeah.
Do 2 damage to any attacker or blocker. For 6 mana.
For 6 mana.
Summon Piper.
This one's actually not bad.
The Pied Piper, he's a black and 2, a tombstone and 2, sorry.
Yeah.
For a 2/2. While Piper is in play, all rats gain bands with other rats.
This would be the best of these cards. I just want to put that out there.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
I didn't have a large assortment to look at.
You got a lot of pack rats or something, man? They all band yeah.
We used to have these things called enchant worlds. So
right.
Take a look. Here's a red one for 2 red and 2. Primeval Dawn. All heroes, knights, and paladins gain +1/+1. All lords gain +2/+2.
I thought this one was pretty interesting.
Pretty cool, but I don't believe lords exist anymore.
No.
And I didn't have them back then, but they've all been errated now.
And I don't know if heroes ever existed in actual Magic.
But for the knights and paladins, that would be pretty sweet, except it's in red. Most of those are in white.
Yeah, it's an anthem in red. You know, can I put that in my commander deck?
There was a time when knights and lords decided battles instead of wizards.
Oh.
Actually, some flavor text.
There you go.
All right. So here's a green one.
Yeah.
I just picked one of each color.
By the way, when you guys see this one on the screen, check the spelling.
Summon Owl. It's a green and 1/1/1. It's a spotted owl. For green, you can turn it, tap it.
Yeah.
Prevent the destruction of one of your forests.
Forest.
Ivan, you're safe.
Yeah.
Local guy, he'll get it.
He'll get it.
He'll get it. Only you can prevent forest fires. They spelled it right there.
That's what bugs me the most.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's what bugs me the most.
I know where only you can prevent forest fires, but that's a bear.
That's a bear.
That's a bear, not an owl.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, and that owl, what is it doing?
I think it's got a dead. I think that's like a dead mouse.
Is it a dead? Okay, I guess it is. Yeah.
But it doesn't even have flying.
Yeah, well, we had some green creatures without flying back then. You got to be old to remember this stuff.
Well, God, we had green creatures with flying back then.
We did that as well, yeah. But I mean, we had Whippoorwill. It's a green card from the dark, has wings, doesn't fly. That's why nowadays, if a card shows something with wings or flying, it flies.
Yes.
All right, so a blue and 2 enchantment, it's called Stormfront. During your upkeep, all flying creatures take 1 point of damage. If no flyers are in place, Stormfront is removed. At least it's got the old word in it, too.
Right.
Remove where? To the graveyard? From the game? Do you have to put it in your truck until you're done? And then a white card. It's a sorcery, a white and 2. It's called Antidote of Columbria. Target player may remove up to 3 poison counters.
I'm not dead yet.
That would see some play, my friends. That would see some play right there, I'm telling you.
When Infect is big in Modern, might have time to play that.
I might see play today, That's one thing Mark Rosewater says. He doesn't want to have a way to get rid of it. There's so few cards that do it. There's not going to be a way to get rid of Infect. So
the only way that I know to do it, and I'm sure there's a couple ways, is Solemnity. Well, it won't get rid of any Infect you have, but you can't get more because players and permanents cannot get counters.
Well, I mean, if you're going to play Vintage, there's an old card that does get rid of them. Converts them into regular damage.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But you can also restart the game with Karn, original Karn, and original Karn Planeswalker.
Right.
And you'll get rid of them. So you can
Karn no pants.
Alrighty. Moving right along, as they say in the biz. But anyway, there were other attempts along the way, and we'll get to it eventually. But in '98, for example, this little gem called Havoc the Bothering. Again, we're not going to go into it today. Another thing that infringed on the copyright.
Right.
Use cigarettes and alcohol as your resources instead of mana.
Right.
And, so anyway, just one of those weird things that's out there that you might not have ever heard of.
Right. There's a lot of them.
That because I've been around so long, I just know things.
Do you remember when the rocks were soft?
That's somebody else. Quit comparing me to Evan. But I do. I do remember when the rocks were soft. They were comfortable, cushy.
I believe you're even older than him, so you're really old man Magic. I'm just
probably.
I believe he's between mine and your age somewhere when I hear
something
him
like that. Yeah, he's got 5 kids, so man, one was all I could handle.
Well,
didn't handle it well, but
what are you talking about? I turned out great.
I'm still alive. So we'll get to Havoc the Bothering in one day.
Yeah,
so give us a little time.
Give us a little bit. we got.
I'm trying to clear up all the pre-95 stuff and then try to get onto 25 years ago. So that's what I've been doing the last few weeks. So I'll go back and look at some of the episodes.
But yeah, there was a few other things. I mean, like especially right there in that time period, we talked about a couple of these things before. Spellfire and these other card games after Magic hit it big all tried to be a thing. They all
right, but those aren't copyright infringements.
No, they're not copyright infringements, but a lot of them were very, very similar. They weren't as blatant as like those Ditzler stickers or anything, but right. A lot of people over the years have tried to make other card games, and Magic still remains king. We're seeing the same thing happen in the digital age with digital card games, but it still seems that Magic is sitting fairly comfortably as the card game.
I shouldn't even start this line of stuff, but I'm going to say it. I heard that, a month ago, I was watching a podcast, and they were talking about, of the esports, Magic was number 11 in prizes awarded. So, and that puts it pretty far down the list because Magic, the 2 or 3 million or whatever, but Hearthstone wasn't too far above it.
Right.
It was like 10th or 9th. But, you've got all these big ones that are awarded millions of dollars.
Right.
But this was just in prizes awarded, not how many people were playing.
Right.
So I haven't seen anything on that. Have you seen anything about how many people are playing versus
I have not seen
Call of Legends or League of Legends or whatever it's called?
Well, League of Legends is that's not a card game, but that's the biggest.
Right, I don't mean card game. I mean esports. We're going to talk arena and esports.
Right, that's about the biggest in esports. I don't know numbers, and I don't know if Wizards released like user numbers for Arena or not. I mean, of course, Arena is not the only Magic Digital out there.
Right.
Magic Online's still a thing, guys. If you want to watch Modern and Pioneer, that's where you play.
But that's what they're driving for. They're driving for those esports money.
They are. But I haven't seen any official numbers on number of users or anything. But I got to think they exploded really big. I mean, like we said, it's 6 months ago or something. Hasbro had equated a $1 jump in their stock, and Hasbro's a huge corporation, just to Magic Arena. That right there speaks dividends that it must be getting a lot of users, but I don't think we've seen any official numbers on that. So I'm sure. I don't know if we don't have on Hearthstone. I'm not real big into the esports. I mean, I like watching Magic, and sometimes I watch some streamers because I enjoy watching it, but I don't follow like the actual esports stuff.
It just happened to be mentioned in another podcast I was watching. They were going down the top 10, and then they mentioned Magic because I think it was number 11. And I believe they were doing a top 10 in payouts is what they're doing. So
still being at number 11 is pretty. I mean, that's moving way up the list for.
I mean, there were huge gaps because League of Legends or whatever
League of Legends
gives out like tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
in
it's the biggest esport there is out there, really.
So anyway, I just thought of that and tangentially applied pressure.
Well, there you go.
I believe we're reaching the end of the notes I have made here.
Yeah.
Shout outs. I left early on Saturday night, which was Board Game Saturday
night. I do believe.
Thank everybody for coming out and playing, and thank my daughter-in-law Shirley for watching the store so I could go home a little early.
I know Shirley told me, I think towards the end of the night, they played some of the adult Mad Libs, and she said she really enjoyed those. They were fun, but needs to be some expansions or something to that game. They shuffled that deck like 3 times or something. They shuffled. Just wasn't enough cards, but she said she liked it better than Cards Against Humanity.
Ooh.
So I haven't got to play it yet, but Adult Mad Libs.
I played it a couple months ago. It was pretty fun.
I mean, Adult Mad Libs sounds fun, but just it's pretty self-explanatory. Sounds like a good time. But she said she really enjoyed it, and
I can still remember a Mad Lib from when I was in high school, from Pizza Hut, which used to be on the back of the trays.
Yeah.
We would fill those out. We'd go on school trips and stuff. And we'd fill them out. I can still remember the name of my band, if I was ever going to have a band one day.
I can remember this because I've heard this.
Wow. I need more stories.
Apparently. Disgusting Chains.
That is correct. Disgusting Chains. That would be the name of my band if I could sing or play an instrument and do music.
I got to admit, it's a pretty good name for a band.
Pretty good name, and I don't believe I've ever heard of Disgusting Chains. I guess if I Googled it, I might.
Right. But
I'm not going to Google it because it's probably out there.
I like hard rock and listen to some metal, and I'm telling you, that's a pretty good metal band name.
You just gave it away, man.
I did.
I maybe was just going to, say DC. Anyway, so yeah, on Saturday nights, once a month we do Board Game Saturday night. Yep. And at 10 o'clock after normal store hours, we break out adult games, Cards Against Humanity, the adult Mad Libs, or Pitch Storm with the adult stuff.
Red Flags.
Red Flags.
I hardly ever get to go to Board Game Saturday night, but I'll tell you, Red Flags, I want to play that game again. I played it for like 2 hours. Me, Sky, Zach.
Make a date for somebody at the table, their ideal date, and then you get to play cards to modify it.
Or make it worse.
To make it worse.
Yeah. It's out of that style of game, it's probably about the funnest I played. We had a blast.
It's pretty fun.
And there's a lot of cards, so there was a lot of variance on what was getting created.
A lot of replayability. There is.
So
people enjoy that. That's a pretty good one.
I still want to play Pitch Storm because I feel like Pitch Storm would be very similar, but I haven't got to play it.
It's like your 1 minute movie pitch for a movie, like an elevator pitch for a movie. So you get your elements and you combine them to pitch a movie to the judge.
Right.
And then they decide which movie. And then they have elements they can throw in there to mesh up. So you're making a movie pitch.
Right.
And there's an adult version to that as well. So we played that a few times.
It seems very fun. But
it's very fun, but it's got to be somebody, you need people that can think on their feet pretty quick.
Right.
You actually use a timer and they have like 45 seconds or something. And at like the 20 or 30 second mark, they throw in you can throw in a zinger like, oh, now I had a dolphin or something.
Right. Can you make this in space?
Yeah, can you make this in space? Whatever. So anyway, we do a lot of fun stuff like that there at the Guild. So if you're local, come on out and check it out,
Right, yeah. Board games are a blast. We all love playing Magic, obviously, and we play a lot of Magic at the Guild, but board games are a great way to relax, get a lot more people involved, and trust me, I'd much rather play a 6-man board game than a 6-man Commander Pod. So,
yeah, that's too big.
Yeah.
2, 3.
You can't play Magic with that many people, but you can play a board game.
Yeah. So anyway, you got anything else for this week, Alan?
No, I think.
Are we hitting pretty good on our time?
I think we're at about 55 minutes right here.
We usually try to do around an hour. So
yeah, we're gonna move over. We're gonna jump to the other camera. 2 cameras now, guys. 2 cameras. We're gonna
two cameras.
Jump over to the other camera, and we're gonna bust those promo packs that will go live for
next week. Yeah. So we opened last week for this week.
Yep.
So we'll open this week for next week. And that's just how we keep doing it.
Yep.
All those cards are live for the following week.
Right. And just in case you'll hear us if we hit any, I don't really believe we said it last week when I pulled 2 solo new Phyrexias.
Yeah.
But anything that's a commander card, one of the reprints that's not currently in standard, those are being pulled back for commander events and things that are what undisclosed events possibly. I don't believe we've decided.
We've only pulled like 5 of them so far.
Right. I believe 3 of them are souls of new Phyrexia though.
I believe 3 of them are souls of new Phyrexia. So yeah, I'll be giving those out at commander events, but I was letting a few build up first so there'd be a variety.
Right.
And because there's not that many. They're pretty few and far between.
I believe last week I pulled 2 solo new Phyrexias and a pull from tomorrow.
Yep, that's correct. So anyway, guys, we appreciate you. We're gonna cut over and bust those packs.
Yep.
And then we'll see you later on.
All right.
So watch for us next week.
Thank you. All right, guys, here we are.
We are back, ready to bust some Universal promo packs.
Here's our normal Theros Universal promo pack. Here are the nice shiny foil ones. I'll leave those sitting right over here to the side for when we get to those.
Yep.
All right, guys. Here we go. We got ourselves a little backdrop to open them on now. Wouldn't it be cool to open a Lotus on a Lotus?
Sure.
Wrong kind of. Like maybe different Lotuses, obviously.
Obviously.
There's our code card. Hey, there's a Nissa who shakes the world who's still running standard. Lots of mana. Alciad of Life's Bounty. And a Woe Strider, guys.
Whoa.
I know at least one of our locals that's looking for some of those. I was hoping to trade them to him before he could get them out of the promo book. All right. He has a Purphoros for me.
Somebody else might have one. Huh. Have to really sweet talk him, though.
I only need 2 more.
Pack one, pick one.
Ooh. It is most definitely a pack one, pick one. All right.
I didn't play it.
Stomping Ground. There we go, guys. Shocklands.
Nice.
Thirst for Meaning.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gallia.
Ooh.
I maybe want to take that out of there. I apparently didn't actually pull any Gallias out of any of my pre-release stuff. Or drafts yet.
Hot for the Satyr deck, huh?
I'm running Gruul aggro much lower to the ground than I used to, and it's a 2-drop. It's a DC. There we go, guys. That'll be going back for commander events.
Yeah, that's a good card.
Gary. And Underworld Breach. You heard us talk about this quite a bit earlier in the episode.
Yep.
This is a card, and that's just a Pioneer, guys. I don't watch enough Legacy or Vintage to know what ungodly, horrible, broken things this card is doing.
Yeah, I don't think you can do anything super broken standard with it, at least I haven't seen yet.
Give it time. It's a small standard right now.
True. True.
Temple, Black-White Temple. Thrill of Possibility in that FNM treatment. Gravebreaker Lamia.
Awesome sauce.
Good stuff. You only have to delve away 4 creatures or 4 cards out of your graveyard to get Hogak with that thing. Spells from your graveyard cost 1 less.
Ooh.
Dreadhorde Invasion. Loved this card. Esper's kind of fallen out of favor for me, but loved that card in that deck. Another Gary. And the first, Rowan Games. Just such a flavorful card.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Olympics. I mean,
it's a win, 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 win.
You qualify, you train, you compete, you win. Wow, it's Very, very well done, guys.
Yep. Spot on, I say.
Like, I really thought they hit it out of the park the first time around in Dominaria with the sagas, but I really feel like they may have done a better job in Theros, getting to retell the Greek tales, mythology tales from Greek mythology, and these cards has been fantastic. Ooh, Steam Vents. There's another Shockland.
Another Shock. Sweet.
Gary.
That's the third Gary.
And a Temple of Plenty. Lots of dual lands tonight.
Lots of dual lands. Well, you need those.
2 temples, 2 shocks.
Real estate's where it's at.
All right, now we're on to 2 foil packs, guys.
Yep.
See what we can pull out of there.
The shiny shines.
See if we can get anything that goes away as a commander card out of these foils. There's a Chandra Fire Artisan. Ooh, she's shiny. Thirst for Meaning.
Yep.
And there's a Blue-Black Temple in foil.
Nice.
Really hitting it hard on those lands.
Gots to have the real estate. Unlike land, in real estate, they are making more lands in Magic.
That's right. Anguished Unmaking.
Oh, yeah. Commander goodiness.
That's sexy in that foil. I mean,
maybe even like a modern.
Yeah.
Or a pioneer goodiness, right?
Yeah. Shadows.
Yeah.
It's a real possibility. And a foil Kunaros.
Hey, nice.
Good doggo. All right, guys, there we are. That Anguish Unmaking is nice. I don't know about Pioneer. 3 mana, there's a lot of removal at 3 mana. It gets clogged up in Pioneer at 3 mana, There
is.
So.
Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week. We hope you like the new format. We're going to be warping that and modifying it. Give us some feedback. And we appreciate you tuning in. Come on out to the guild and play some Magic this week or play some board games or whatever. And, it's the place to go to, so...
Yeah, come join us down at Grove Gamers Guild, where
everybody knows your game.